So we're here with Rob Wildeboer.
It's 5:34 in the morning, the night after Obama's historic speech in Denver, at which he accepted the Democratic nomination to be president.
That's right.
He's African American to do so.
You've been working all night. You finished the
filed
feature.
my story. Just finished my feature on it.
Okay.
The story really sucked.
Now tell us why, because this is a great story.
This is missing an important component. But
okay.
Maybe we should. Can we pan the room a second and show what we are living like?
Yeah, this is the condo.
Looks like on 3 hours.
There's Amanda.
Per night.
3 hours sleep. There she is. Hi. She's smiling. There's the dirty kitchen.
This is the plate of watermelon rice.
Here's all the crap. We put together 3 people who don't really clean up after themselves. All right.
Normally I do, but just not in this kind of sleep schedule.
Right.
Okay.
All right. So tonight you needed to get a piece for the piece you're working on. You needed to get a story. So you were going to get somebody who couldn't get into.
So we're doing the story. Going to be following Illinois people who made the trip out to Denver to see this historic speech. And by the way, what was Rob doing when Barack Obama was giving this historic speech? He was being sniffed by dogs. We'll explain. So anyway, I had met someone at the Illinois delegation breakfast this morning who had come in on a bus last night. She didn't have a ticket for Invesco Field. I had been talking to her about that. She's a great talker, interesting woman, a lot of kind of personality, which is what we're looking for when we're doing stories. And so I got her cell phone number. I was going to find out where she watched the speech, because she couldn't get to Invesco Field, but so she'd watch it on some TV somewhere. But she'd be all like, "Oh, it's great." So I wanted to find her, right? So I'm calling her from Invesco Field. She's not answering. We're coming up to Obama's speech. I need to get out and find some Illinois people who drove all the way here and didn't get into Invesco.
Now, mind you, Invesco's got 80,000 people in it.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
And I've got that part of the story, people in the park, and I want some people out of the park. So at 6:40, an hour and 20 before Obama's supposed to hit the stage, I'm like, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it now. I decide I'm going to go out and find some people who didn't make it into Invesco. Invesco is a stadium, and like many stadiums, it's surrounded by huge parking lots and highways, not terribly pedestrian friendly. So I start hauling, and I've already been running around Invesco all night trying to collect tape. I start hauling. I'm run through a parking lot. I run down the hill. There's all these perimeters and gates. I go through some gates. I run up this berm that's holding up a 6-lane highway, and I run onto the highway. The highway is closed because it's too close to Invesco. There's people hanging out up there. I'm like, maybe some of them are from Illinois, and they're just hanging out on the sidewalk and want to get close. None of them are from Illinois. I'm running down this highway to this place where there was a watch party the previous night, where people were watching the speech at a remote location. But it's like 1.5 miles, and I'm running down this 6-lane highway, which is free of cars.
With your kit, right? You got your
kit.
Yeah. The recorder, right?
So I run down the highway, and 2 girls pass by on bikes. I'm like, is there a chance either of you could double me? And the girl's like, all right. So I get on the seat of her bike, and she's got thick, fat tires, and the bike's just like, and there's like this much of the tire on the road. It's a lot of drag. And she's like working at it, and we go about, I don't know, maybe half a mile. She's like beat. So I'm like, can I do it for a while? You want me to help me out? You want me to help out? So
you are
I get
master
on,
bike rider.
because I am master bike rider. And we go for about another mile and finally hit this performing arts center. There's no one in the performing arts center. I run a block to another building where someone had told me there might be a watch party. Nothing. I ask cops. I ask the rickshaw drivers they've got here in Denver. I ask cabbies. I jump in a cab. I say, I heard there was one over at this place. He takes me over there. There's nothing. Take me to the Marriott. The Marriott's where the Illinois delegation is staying. I'm like, well, you know what? At least there will be some Illinois people in the Marriott who didn't get into Invesco Field.
Nothing.
That place is nothing. There's like tumbleweed blowing through the lobby. So then I have a bike at the Marriott, so I hop on my bike, and I'm riding down California, and I see like there's a big tent over there. I'm like, is that a watch party? And I'm looking right at the tent, and boom. I hit a curb and fly on onto train tracks. No train coming, of course.
So you're spilt out on the ground.
So I'm spilt out on the ground. Then I hear that there's a party at or a watch party at Aurora campus. So I know where that is. It's south of the Pepsi Center. I start hauling out to the Pepsi Center, which is, again, another mile away. I've gone like 7 miles at this point. So I go out there, and I'm passing the CNN building by the Pepsi Center, and actually I run into the girl who gave me a bike ride.
Oh, wow.
I get back, I can't find anything, so I decide I'm going to head back to Invesco, so I'm there by the end of the speech, so I can hop on the bus with the delegates when they leave Invesco. That'll have to be the end of my story. So I'm riding to Invesco, and I go through one perimeter and two perimeters, and then I get through one, and I'm coming down the street, and the Secret Service is like, "Hey, stop! Stop! Stop right there, sir! Stop!" And they're yelling at me, and I'm still riding at them, and I'm like, I need ya! And so they're like, "Stop! Stop! Put the bike down!" And so I put the bike down, and then they pull up. One of them comes over, and he's got the German Shepherd, and I'm like, "Put the bike down." I'm like explaining. They're like, "Okay, well, sniff the bike, sniff the bag," and they have the dog sniff everything. Hence, I was being sniffed by a dog while Obama was giving his historic speech.
Great.
Anyway, I tell her the story, and I was out and trying to find people who couldn't make it into Invesco, and she's like, okay, get on the bike. And she sends me down the road, and she yells to the other Secret Service guys 50 meters down the road, he's good! And then there's these ramps that they have, these trailers that go up, so they block you, and they're like, okay, zzz.